Good morning, 8th grade. Actually, it's good afternoon, but I'm making it this morning. Today what we're going to do is we're going to learn about a trend line. Yesterday we talked about scatter plots and the correlation, whether it was positive or whether it was negative or no correlation at all. Today what we're going to do is we're going to take that scatter plot and look at how to make a line of best fit or a trend line, which is the same thing. So what we have is we have some data. Okay, and we're talking about field cricket chirps. I know, pretty boring, right? But it's what I have for you. So we have how many times does a cricket chirp, like the number per minute, and the temperature. And so we're trying to see if there's a correlation. If it's colder, do they chirp more? Or when it's warmer, do they chirp more? And why? And so many scientists sometimes can use this data to make predictions, maybe on a population of overgrowth, or not overgrowth, but overpopulation of crickets. And in Texas, we know that firsthand, don't we? And we know that crickets tend to come out when it's a little bit warmer. If you remember the black crickets, you never want to go in the stores because they're lining up against the wall. So go ahead. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to plot these really quick. You can just kind of tune in, listen to me. But some of you need a little bit of practice. We know that the chirps per minute is going to be our X, and usually the one on the left is always, when it's in a table, is always our X, and our Y is going to be on the right, okay? So 10 and 40, okay, 20 and 48. Remember, it's not perfect. You know, we're not trying to. 40 will be 47. And 50 will be 53. 60 will be 58. And I may make a mistake, and I apologize. 70 will be 58. 80 will be 57. And you can always stop this, catch up. 100 will be 65. 120 will be 66. 130, and already I am seeing a positive correlation, and I hope you're seeing that too. Okay, 140 will be 73. 150 will be 79. And 160 will be 77. Okay, so what we have, obviously we have a positive correlation. Okay. Now, we are going to cut this out and put it in our journals, so make sure you're doing your best, okay? What I like to do is when you're drawing a line of best fit, I'm trying to draw something that looks like a linear function, okay? And so I'm looking at it going like this, and what I like to do is kind of look at how can I kind of highlight the low. Whoops, sorry. Highlight the low. There is no perfect best line of, okay? Line of best fit or trend line. It's always a guesstimate. Okay, so what you do is you draw like a rectangle of your low and your high. And the goal when you draw that line of best fit is for your line to dissect, which means to half it perfectly in the middle. And if you notice, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So the goal in a line of best fit is to put half of them above, half of the points on above, and half of them below. So I have about 6 that should go above. And can you have it? Can you dissect those? Absolutely. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have a feeling that this right here will be a perfect line of best fit. And if you notice, it perfectly goes through the middle, and I have about half of my data points. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe it could have gone a little lower, but like I said, it's not perfect, okay? So now that I have a guesstimate, and you put a light pencil, and now what I'm going to do is make it permanent, okay? And so what I can do now, this line of best fit, I'm able to make predictions. I could even I can find slope from this line. I can look at my y-intercept. And so we can actually create a linear function equation from the line of best fit to represent our data that was gained from this experiment, okay? So we talked about, based on the placement of this trend line, can you predict the temperature when 30 chirps per minute are recorded. So what I do is I go up, so at 30, okay, I'm going to go up to my trend line now. Okay, and I make sure, so I'm at 30, okay, 30 chirps. And then I'm going to follow, when I hit that trend line, then I'm going to follow it to my y-axis. And so my prediction is where it lies. So 45, about 47. So I would say approximately 47. And remember that this is not perfect. Okay? If the temperature outside is about 70 degrees, about how many chirps per minute would you expect? And if you notice, they didn't give us chirps. They gave us the temperature. So you have to be really, really careful as to what information they give you. So if they give us the temperature, I need to start here. So 70. And what I'm going to do is follow it over all the way to my trend line, or my line of best fit. And you notice that I have two different colors, just so we can differentiate those. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow it down all the way to my x-axis. So 110 is about halfway because it's in between 100 and 120. So I'm going to say, how about 116? Okay, some of you may have said 117, 118. Guys, when you're in the range, it does not matter, because on the STAR test, they'll have maybe 4 choices, and it will stand out as to which one it is, okay? So at the end, and what I want you to do, this is pretty simple, that's all. All we're doing is we create this rectangle that encompasses or contains all of our data. If I had one little data point out here, would I bring my yellow all the way down here? No. I would not include extreme outliers, okay? You're following the trend of your data. And so let's look at the bottom question. Sketch a scatter plot showing an incorrect placement of a trend line and explain why the placement is incorrect. And so if we had I'll draw one for you. Okay, and let's pretend our data, and we are going to put a couple out here. You get the idea. So I would not include all of this. And that's what I was trying to explain before. So an incorrect data point, in other words, I want kind of in the middle, more than half of my data is on the top, okay? In other words, you don't have to include those outliers, just like I said. The trend line should have been up here, okay? All right, with that being said, I want you have about 4 questions, not too much. But what I want you to do, not a lot, each one of these I want you to put in your journal. And we're going to talk about those, but I want you in pencil to put your answer in. Tomorrow when you come in to see me first thing in the morning, we're going to go over each one and check them. So just use a pencil in case you get it wrong. We can correct that. Okay? All right. See you this afternoon.